Entering her 21st season as the head coach of the University of South Carolina women's soccer team, Shelley Smith has won 5 SEC championships, made 13 NCAA appearances, led the women's soccer team to its first ever College Cup in 2017, and reached the NCAA quarterfinals 4 times. On the very first edition of GC Exclusives, Gamecock Central had the opportunity to sit down with Coach Smith to discuss the 2021 season, her tenure at the University of South Carolina, and what's next for Coach Smith. All right, Gamecock Central fans, we are joined now by a very special guest. It is the head coach of the South Carolina women's soccer team, Shelley Smith. And Coach Smith, you're on the road right now. You're taking on ECU tonight. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us. I know everybody at GC is going to be so excited to hear from you. But secondly, how are you doing today?
I'm great. It's game day. We're excited. This break here is just, you get anxious trying to get to game time. I'm getting some work done, so that's good.
I love that you are so committed that you are here today sitting down with us even just a couple of hours before a game. That's pretty darn impressive. But to start the interview, I kind of want to take it back because you've been the head coach of the South Carolina women's soccer team now for 21 seasons, which is so impressive. And at the very beginning, you've made comments before that you felt like you really got over the hump at the start of your career at USC with the 2006 freshman class. So talk about how you got that class to kind of buy into your program. And before you had your success at South Carolina, how did you get players to trust you?
Well, those are good questions. I think, it's been a long time. I'm appreciative looking back to have some time to grow the program. We had to really just sell what our vision was. With Jamie and I coming in, a husband-wife team, it was a little different and unique. And players that came in early on, they we're thankful for them for trusting what we were trying to build here. So there was definitely potential. We had a great group of girls that when we came in to work with, we really loved the group, but we had to improve the talent, the overall commitment level. We really just had to raise some standards, and I think the players here were appreciative, and they helped us tell players that we were serious about what we were trying to do and accomplish. And luckily, we got some breaks with some players that really, I guess, wanted to make a difference, and they could have gone to places that maybe have been more established, and instead they came here and helped us build something, which I think was a very special experience for those players. And we just continue to bring in better and better talent. And over time, that's where you see the success. But we always maintain the same morals and values and things that we instilled early on all the way to this team today.
So you mentioned at the beginning there your husband, Jamie. He is the associate head coach for the women's soccer team here at South Carolina. First of all, a lot of people don't even work with their spouse. Like, that is not really a thing. So for you, describe what's that like, and has there ever been a moment where you took maybe some anger from the soccer field that you two had against each other and brought that maybe back home?
I think it's a balance that we have to live with all the time. I mean, I think, probably I'm a better reminder to Jamie about, not bringing work home, and I can kind of set it aside more than he can, but that's what makes us work together. He takes a lot off my plate as a head coach, which has allowed me to, really do other things and be a mom to my own boys, be around then. And I'm probably a little bit more of a laid back type of person, so I can handle that. So I think we, like I said, balance each other well. But it does bring, some, not necessarily conflict. I think we work through that very well. It's just some extra anxiety sometimes that you just have to deal with. And it's hard. I think anybody has to learn how to be a spouse to a coach. And for us, we both have to learn that. And I think because we do so much, we do understand what each other are going through, and we share in the experience. And and know what's going on, it is helpful and helps us get through, and we understand when each other are frustrated, and we can share in the great moments as well. So there's some special opportunities to be building the program together.
People talk about power couples. I feel like it's the ultimate power couple move to have a husband and wife coaching duo. It's so cool. But speaking of power, speaking of strength, girls you're bringing back to the team this year. You have 21 of last year's 26-letter winners coming back, including the team's top 3 goal scorers, plus fifth-year seniors coming back as well for you. So how do you capitalize off of the experiences that a lot of your returning players have from last year? And what do you think your team's biggest strength is this year?
Well, you kind of hit on it. To have that many returning is a strength for sure. To have 4 seniors that have been through the program, and we call them super seniors, they're back to play their 5th year, and it's a huge credit to them to want to continue to play and do their best on the field. And also get a graduate degree and take advantage of that opportunity. And they've come in and, even though they're in grad school, they're as committed as ever to leading the program. And when you have experienced players, it's a huge help on the field and off. So they've always represented our program really well, and they continue to do so. So when you have younger players coming in each year with their leadership, it definitely helps continue the success and the culture. This group of seniors, had experienced the College Cup and what it was like to go to the Final Four. And I think that's a value because they know how hard it is to get there. But they also determined to get back. And so they want to lead the program to have that opportunity again.
Program's in really good shape right now. At this current time, you're ranked 16th in the country. So much to look forward to for you all. The last time you finished a season lower than 3rd place in the SEC was before 2015. So for you, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to do well because you have been doing so well over these past several years. So how do you kind of block that out and stay forward facing as you tackle a new season? The stat you just gave is impressive. I don't always keep track of that. And I guess our expectation is to finish high in the conference, to finish ranked in the country. And we don't necessarily focus on that just at the end. It's a daily operational thing. Every game we have to prepare for, and we know every time we step on the field, we have to do our best to be able to compete for a championship, to be in the top 2 or 3 in the conference, and to make the NCAAs and all that. We know the little things that it takes to get there. So, if we were always chasing a ranking and looking at that only, we may lose focus on what we're trying to do day to day. So really, we don't talk too much about that. We talk about how, we know what we are. We believe in ourselves, and so we step on the field. We want to impose that on our opponent. We want to play with a confidence, and it just goes along. It's great when you actually have a ranking. I think sometimes it makes it harder when you are predicted to be the top team in the SEC and we're in the top 10 because we get everyone's best performance. So that gets difficult. So we have to know that, and we discuss that piece and feel that we have to live up to the standards that we set for ourselves, and the expectation is there, and we just hope to live up to that every day we step on the field. I'm going to keep hitting you with some more statistics in this interview. I did my research beforehand, but I want to talk about Catherine Berry because she was just absolutely sensational last year. She had some amazing offensive statistics, accounting for 6 goals. Your freshman class last year actually scored 16 out of the 30 total goals scored for South Carolina women's soccer. So as a coach, you have freshmen that come into college, and sometimes they might have those jitters. It's a different environment playing for an SEC team. So how do you prepare them for being on a stage like the Southeastern Conference?
I think last year was actually awfully strange. Our freshmen had to come in and actually jump right into the SEC season, which freshmen never have to do. We start with our non-conference. So there was a huge jump there for a lot of the freshmen, and a credit to them to come in and do that. And I think I saw them grow a lot from the fall season to the spring. It's almost like they were already sophomores by the time they hit the spring season. So, I mean, just the SEC season under their belt, they really did well coming into kind of that non-conference piece in the spring. So that was a little different. So last year's preparation, it was tough. Because like I said, they jumped right in, but luckily we had some great talent that was able to handle that. Every year this kind of non-conference piece is what we try to do to get them ready. We've already had one opportunity to play down at Charleston. We played a lot of players, a lot of freshmen. They got their first chance to play in a real regular season game. And that's what we want to try to do, is give them as much experience as we can. And our schedule kind of builds gradually with teams getting a bit stronger every time we come out. And so we try to build with that. And then by the time we get to SEC play, we hopefully have established a team that's ready to step up their game and compete for an SEC championship. So we do try to ease them in and get them as much playing time as we can. And then we're really trying to get more of a stable starting group and play more minutes by the time we hit SEC season.
So the 2020 season was certainly weird, like you talked about right there. But for you as a coach, you reached so many milestones, your 300th career win. You're one of 27 coaches in NCAA D1 history to win over 300 matches. You rank 15th among Power 5 coaches, 4th in SEC history. The list goes on and on for you, and you've coached 21 seasons at South Carolina. So some people might say, why are you still here? You've accomplished so much already. It's been a long time. Are you ready to spend time with your family full time? Are you ready to hang it up? Coach Smith, what is your why?
I don't think it's much of a why anymore. I mean, after this long of a time, I think this is, something where you're just proud to continue to represent such a great university. Obviously, Jamie and I have really enjoyed our time here. We're not from South Carolina, so when we came here, it was an adjustment. And when you're coaching, you kind of think, okay, where's the next stop? And, let's give South Carolina a try. It was not close to home, but as we stayed here, we learned the positives that the university brings to our lives, a place to raise a family, the support we got from the department, from the community, and really establish more roots in a place. And for us, it's more important to be in a place that we enjoy, a quality of life, a place we're vested in, and the support. What's special to us is it's really a family atmosphere for us, and to have so many alumni come back and visit, and it's not as special if you go somewhere new and try to start all that over. So really the history of the program and all that we've done here is what's important to us, and we want to continue to build on everything we've done so far and see how far we can take it before we do decide to stop coaching and leave South Carolina. But it's not necessarily a plan. I think coaches know maybe when it's time, but we've really enjoyed it, and want to continue to bring championships to the university.
We don't want you to leave. You have to at least stay through my senior year of college. I couldn't imagine women's soccer without the Smith husband-wife coaching duo, Shelley Smith at the helm. I mean, it wouldn't be right. So at least through 2023, you have to be here.
For you, Kendall, okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But a conversation we had the other day that I really want to touch on in this interview, we were at the Gamecock Central kickoff party at Steel Hands Brewing, which, by the way, thank you for coming. It was great to have you there. But I was talking to you about soccer, and I was like, I get soccer and I really like soccer, but I feel like I need to understand it more. And you said people don't really look at the nuances of soccer. If you're looking at it for the goals, you're not appreciating soccer for what it is. So elaborate on that for everyone listening at home.
Yeah, I think, a soccer fan, a lot of people, turn soccer on and they don't quite understand it, especially if you're used to watching sports that do produce a lot of end results. And, soccer is more of an art. The goal is eventually what you're trying to get, but so much of it is the creativity that it takes, the speed of play, the thought. It's kind of like a chess match, and you're trying to pick out how to beat your opponent. And all over the field, it's decisions that happen instantly. There's no plays being called out. Athletes on the field are making decisions based on what they see in a split second. So that's important, but also the footwork. When I watch pro soccer, like the EPL or, the NWSL, like the amazing amount of skill that these players have and what they can do quickly, is what impresses me. The best teams in the world, when you watch the World Cup, I mean, just seeing what they do, how quickly they do it, what the skills are. They take a ball out of the air, 40-yard ball like it's a piece of cake, and keep going, or able to complete the next pass without any difficulty, or the finishing you see. All those things are amazing to watch. And if you play the game or been around it, you actually appreciate it more, what you're able to do. It's not easy to do a lot of those things with your feet that unless you've tried it, you may not have the same appreciation. But it's truly the thought and decision making that goes into the game that you have to also respect and understand too.
For the people that say, I only want to go to South Carolina football games, I'm a Gamecock fan, but I'm only going to be at Williams-Brice Stadium, what's your pitch as to why they need to come out to Stone Stadium, the Graveyard, and watch a women's soccer game?
Yeah, I think we've heard a lot of comments at times for people that have come out for the first time. I mean, even if you don't understand the game of soccer that well, you come out and you respect what these women are doing on the field. There's a high level of the sport. A lot of people mention the running that is involved. I mean, the amount of running that it takes to cover a soccer field for the minutes they play. They respect the endurance and the intensity, the aggressiveness that it takes. I mean, you can't be soft as a soccer player. You have to be pretty brave. But the other piece is that it's exciting. We have a great crowd. They're behind us. We got the great graveyard shift there, banging their drums and yelling. It's a different environment, but it's exciting. And sometimes a band is there. It's just, it's a great opportunity to cheer for a Gamecock team in the fall. So you can add to the excitement of the fall season in football games and come out and see some soccer.
I have to say, the first athletic event I ever went to at South Carolina my freshman year, we talked about it, I lived at Bates West, so I just walked across the street to the Graveyard, went to a women's soccer game. It was crazy. It was like packed crowd, and ever since, I have to say to everybody, like, you cannot underestimate the soccer teams at South Carolina, because that environment is unbelievable. And you talk about the fans there. You created the FAMILIA FC a couple years ago, so I want you to talk about that for all of our GC listeners.
Yeah, we did that because we really wanted to connect the community to our team. So, it's helped with a membership that brings in some support that we can do a couple projects for the team. So that's wonderful for us. But it also gives us a chance to find a way for people to kind of get to know our players better. In turn, they have a connection when they come to the games. We offer events to our FAMILIA juniors, so the kids come in and can meet our team in certain times. We have pizza parties. I'll do chalk talks for the fans that want to come in. We have tailgates before the games. There's a lot of fun things we do, and just for those that want to be connected with the program, it was a way for us to reach out and have people a part of what we're doing. And why we named it FAMILIA is just we feel like it's a big family. It's a family of soccer supporters and people, and we wanted to bring more people into that environment than we already have. And we've always had tremendous support from the families of our players. So many players come from around the country, and impressively enough, their parents are there. Just the ones that are from New Jersey or somewhere further are there just as much as the ones that come from South Carolina. So
I hate to be a Debbie Downer after talking about something so fun, but as we kind of round out the interview, I know that you had some injury issues in the off season with your team. How are things looking heading into tonight's game at ECU?
Injuries unfortunately have plagued us this year, and we are piecing together some things. Our players are coming back from surgeries that happened the year prior. There's been COVID issues, which have happened to many teams. There's, certain things that maybe have held us back from being at full potential right now. But that's going well because we have players stepping up in at times when someone might be missing. So unfortunately, we've hit the injury bug a little bit more than we have in the past. But, that happens every year in sports, especially in our sport. It's inevitable. We've gotten lucky to have, not too many in the past. Right now we're dealing with more than we would like, but players are working hard to get back out there. And like I said, those that are now called upon to step into roles, maybe they weren't as big a role before, are now stepping into starting roles and playing more minutes, and they have to be ready. And that's what we always preach to our team is, you play an important role and you never know when you're going to be called on next to make up for something that changes. And that's where we're at. And we have some great talent that will get to kind of prove themselves more as we get through these next few weeks.
My last question for you this afternoon, Coach. Like I said, taking on ECU tonight, taking on NC State on Sunday. You've coached 21 seasons at South Carolina. Do your goals change from season to season, or every season do you kind of have the same mindset, the same goal, the same mentality heading through?
Let's see, through my 20 plus years here, they definitely have changed. But I want to say we're fortunate now to have had similar goals the last several years, where once you reach a stage and you don't go back on those expectations, you say, this is what we're capable of. So every year, we have similar goals and again, trying to win the SEC championship, which we know we're capable of doing year after year, or at least putting ourselves in a position to win that or the SEC tournament. So we've done that several times. And then, with that, if you can put yourselves in the top of this league, then you're putting yourself in a good position to be nationally ranked and well set up for NCAA play. So our goal is to always make the tournament, hope to host and be ranked and go as far as you can. So our goal again is to get back to the College Cup and maybe take the next step and get to a final and win the whole thing. So that's something we try to bring players in that want to have those similar goals. And so we'll keep working towards that. We know it's a difficult road and process, and you have to completely have a full healthy team and to get there. But each year we put ourselves in that position and have those similar goals to do our best and reach our potential through the season.
Well, South Carolina women's soccer, without a doubt, one of the most successful athletic programs at USC, and so much of that is thanks to you, Coach Smith. I really appreciate you joining us today. I know this is going to be such a treat for all of our Gamecock Central listeners, and anybody listening right now, go to a women's soccer game, support women's sports. You will not regret it. It's definitely going to be a great season ahead, and we're so excited to cover it, Coach.
Well, thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate it.